I am Daniel Legis, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a fellow podcaster and the podcast host of the Business Amplifier Podcast, none other than Mr. Andrew Laws.
Hello everybody. Hello Daniel, how are you?
I'm fabulous, Mr. Andrew, and can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Absolutely. My name's Andrew Laws. I live in the east coast of England in the United Kingdom. I've been on Earth for 50 years and I plan to be on Earth for about another 75, maybe 100. Depending if the weather's nice, I'll stick around.
The Earth is still on the right side of the solar system. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Andrew. And today, let's talk about if you're not on YouTube, you are already losing. Oh my goodness, interesting. So let's start with the bold statement itself. If you're not on YouTube, you're already losing. Who is specifically is losing, and what exactly are they losing? Customers, credibility, cultural, or relevance?
It's a lot of things. So this is primarily business owners, especially small business owners. So people who maybe just work by themselves or have a small team. But yeah, they're missing out on customers. They're missing out on opportunities, but also they're missing out on the opportunity to build authority. So Daniel, we all buy from people we know, like, and trust.
Yes.
And in the past, we would figure that out pre-internet by walking into a shop, having a conversation with the shopkeeper, and then we'd think, I like this person, I shall buy his shoes or whatever he's selling. But with the internet, we've all started hiding behind our websites. And websites are really important, but they don't really give us as much opportunity to really make friends with people and show what type of people we are. Whereas as soon as you get a video, as soon as you get a magic camera and start capturing yourself and putting it out on YouTube, people can get a much more authentic idea of who you are.
Authentic indeed. And Mr. Andrew, beyond just audience reach, how does not having a YouTube presence actively damage a brand, create, or a business in today's attention economy?
Well, the attention economy is a very good place to start. People, when they have a problem or want to buy a product, they want a very fast answer, but they always do a bit of research. And now that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, we know that a lot of people start their buying journey on YouTube. It could be a car, it could be guitars, shoes. I don't know why I keep mentioning shoes, but it could be almost anything. And if they keep seeing your lovely face pop up on a video in YouTube, they're going to build an affinity. They're going to build a fuzzy, warm feeling about your brand. So when it comes to time for them to spend money, they'll be a lot more willing to spend with you than with somebody they've not seen any videos before. Because if brands without any videos don't give people a chance to get to know them in that way.
Truly important to have a YouTube account, people. So some argue that other platforms like TikTok or Instagram Reels have made a YouTube less critical. Why do you believe YouTube remains the non-negotiable cornerstone of a digital strategy?
That's a really interesting question. I'm doing some testing on this at the moment myself. I think we're in a situation where, because it's so easy to put videos in multiple places at once, you might as well, when you start posting videos, put them on YouTube, put them on Instagram, put them on TikTok. If you use LinkedIn, put them there, put them on Facebook, put them everywhere you can, because each of those platforms has a slightly different audience. So some of the videos I've been testing at the moment, not a lot of people are watching them on YouTube, but in one case, 1.6 million people have watched one of my videos on TikTok. So it depends what your audience wants, and it depends where your audience are. We assume that TikTok has a younger audience than maybe Facebook. And sometimes, depending on what sort of products you sell or what type of business you run, TikTok might well be the right place to be. But YouTube is just such an easy place to start.
Mm, definitely. Yes, if you compare all those stats for uh, uploading videos, I think TikTok is the most relevant nowadays. They have a huge magnet of young people. And Mr. Andrew, for skeptical business owners who says, my customers are not on YouTube. What's your counter argument? Is it possible for any business to truly opt out?
I don't think it is. I can't think of any type of business that it wouldn't be appropriate for. If anybody's listening to this or watching it and they think, oh, my industry doesn't exist on YouTube, I challenge you to go and do a YouTube search for what you do. Even if you're a funeral director or anything at all, if you search, you will find your competitors on there. And if they're companies you haven't heard of, you didn't know that they are your competitors until you searched for them. Everything from electricians to dentists to everybody. I don't believe there's any industry that doesn't have a presence on YouTube and a handful of dominant players, the big names. So if you don't believe it, go and have a look. And if I'm wrong, let me know. I don't think I will be wrong, though.
Yes. On strategy and mindset, Mr. Andrew, simply uploading videos is not strategy. What separates a presence on YouTube from a win?
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Winning strategy on YouTube.
The most important thing to consider with your strategy is to make content that people are looking for. So this means answering questions that people have. So if you've been running your business for more than a few years, you know the questions that your clients and customers ask you. I'll stick with the shoe shop because I keep talking about shoes. If you've got a shoe shop, you might know that people always ask, how long will these shoes last? So a good video to make for YouTube or TikTok or whatever will be, how long do shoes last? Here's the answer. That's a really simple strategy that you can back up by putting that question into a YouTube search and seeing if anybody else is making videos for it. If they are, then it's definitely a good one. There's more technical ways. We use research tools that are also used in our SEO work to help our clients find good topics, but nothing beats just knowing your customers and knowing your clients. That's the absolute best strategy. Make videos that answer people's questions.
How should a creator or business think about the balance between direct response and brand building on a platform known for a long-term discovery, Mr. Andrew?
That's a really good question. I would say you have to realistically decide how much of your time and money, if it's going to cost money, you want to dedicate to something. Because as you say, it can take a long time to build momentum. I think my answer is, like any marketing strategy, don't spend all your budget in one area.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do YouTube, decide that maybe 20% of your budget and your time is going to go into YouTube, but then still do the other things as well. Even if you find a marketing method that works really, really well, never rely just on that, because really, really unfortunate things can happen. So, for example, I've known businesses local to me here who've relied 100% on how well they're doing on Facebook. And then one day the Facebook traffic just goes bang and disappears. And if that happens, you've got no way of immediately bringing in more business. If you diversify your marketing budget between YouTube and everything else, if one of those things dips, you've got that safety net of the other platforms or the other marketing methods still being in place.
Yes, a safety net indeed. And Mr. Andrew, being on YouTube can mean anything from a curated ad to a daily blog. What is the most underrated type of content that business should be investing in?
I think it's probably the video adverts, which might be an answer that surprises you, but I'll tell you why I think this is so good. You can make a 15-second long video and you can push it out using Google Ads on YouTube, and you can get maybe, we've done it and got 30,000 views on a video for £50. So about 75 American dollars. You can't get in front of a targeted audience of that size using any other advertising method for so little money. So I think if you have to only choose one thing, make a really short advert and push it on YouTube using Google Ads. The returns can be quite fantastic.
The algorithm is often seen as a mysterious god to be appeased. So, what is more productive and effective way for a creator to think about their relationship with the YouTube algorithm?
The same way that people should think about their relationship with SEO algorithms, so AI and Google search. Start by looking after your customers and your clients, looking after their needs, and then think about the algorithm second. So what we've seen with SEO over the last 30 years that I've been working with it is that people who focus first on the algorithm will find that when the algorithm changes, their audience might dip quite quickly. Whereas if you always focus on looking after your audience and answering their questions and building authority and building trust with them, small changes can happen with the algorithm over time that will probably benefit you. Because the only thing an algorithm is trying to do, whether it's SEO, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, or whatever, it's trying to return the most helpful results to the users. So if you make YouTube videos that are really helpful to your audience and the algorithm changes, you'll probably start to do better. That being said, with YouTube, there are some important things to understand about the algorithm. And the most important is that people have to watch as much of your video as possible to prove to the YouTube algorithm that it's good, that it's helpful, that it's popular. This is why it's best to start a YouTube video by telling people something interesting and then tell them what's in it for them. So, for example, this episode might be, here's why you're missing out if you're not on YouTube. I'm going to explain why, with just a small amount of effort, you can beat your competitors. It's all we're trying to do with the first few seconds of a YouTube video is we're just trying to stop people from pressing skip or stop or leaving to go and do something else. That's all we've got to do. And then throughout your video, you've got to make sure you keep people engaged. The biggest mistake I see on YouTube is people start by saying, hello, I'm Andrew and I live in this place and I've been doing this for a really long time. People just skip. They don't care who you are. Unless you're like a Hollywood star, they don't care. All they care about is, why should I watch this? What's in it for me? So that part of the algorithm is important to know about. But on the whole, just do good things. Just be helpful.
Yes. And thank God we're live on YouTube right now, Mr. Andrew. And on content and execution, with the millions of hours of content uploaded, how can a new channel possibly break through the noise without resorting to a clickbait or gimmicks?
The simple answer is be better than everybody else. The real answer, and I was in a meeting with somebody just now talking about this, the real answer is if you're going to launch into a crowded marketplace, spend time doing your research. If you know your topic really well, look at the videos the leaders are making, the people who are getting all the views, and decide what you don't like about them. Decide what feels inauthentic or feels forced or feels like clickbait. And then when you come to make your videos, fill in those gaps. Don't make the mistakes that they make. It's a bit like watching somebody play football and they make a mistake and you think, right, well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. And just remember, everybody has a point in their YouTube career that they upload the first ever video and they don't know what they're doing. It takes quite a long time, really, to develop a channel that's extremely successful, but it doesn't mean it's not worth starting. It just means it's worth giving yourself that bit of intelligence by seeing what's already going on and just making sure you do it a little bit better. Or one thing that I recommend looking at is the presentation style. So if you work in the shoe industry and you find everyone is very serious and everyone talks in a very flat tone, then make your channel very lively and very excited, and just it's a good way of standing out in all the noise. But there aren't many niches or areas on YouTube that I would recommend against starting. I wouldn't try and beat people like Mr. Beast. People, I think just let him stay where he is.
Yes.
And also think about this. How many new customers do you actually need? Unless you're a very large company, you probably don't need 1,000 new customers a month. So you might look at your YouTube videos and think, oh no, they're only being watched a few hundred times. That could be enough. How many do you really need?
Yes. Try until you succeed, people.
Yeah, learn
from it. And Mr. Andrew, as a podcast host, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Well, my short-term goal is to increase the number of subscribers and to speak to some interesting people. My long-term goal is to use it as a platform to help people who feel that they might not have the skills they need to do well in business. Because I believe everybody has the ability to do really well, and that's all locked away in their heads. If you've been in business for more than a year, then you are good at business. Simple as that. What I want the Business Amplifier podcast to do is help people realize how talented they are, help them find their voice, help them increase their visibility. That's a long-term goal. I want to encourage people to believe in themselves.
Yes, believing within yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
To have or to start a big business. And good luck to your goals, Mr. Andrew, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be a fellow podcast host like us?
Start. Just start. Don't get caught up in. I've been recommending research. Don't get too caught up with research. Start. The Business Amplifier podcast, I believe it's the best podcast I've made, but it's not the first. I've made some terrible podcasts in the past, but every single one of those podcasts that was terrible taught me an important lesson that I wouldn't have learned if I had have waited until I thought my ideas were perfect. So the biggest bit of advice for me is start. And if it's terrible, no one's going to see it, and you won't be embarrassed. But then you can do the next one and get better and better and better.
Yes, definitely. start now, people, and stop procrastinating.
Yeah.
If you have the passion to talk and talk and talk, please do share your knowledge and wisdom to the world, just like we are doing with Mr. Andrew. And thank you for that advice, Mr. Andrew. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
The book that has influenced my journey and my life the most is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Mm-hmm.
I think this book, I don't think the title has aged very well. It sounds a bit unpleasant, but in reality, this book is the most important book you can read about understanding your fellow human beings, about how to build trust with people in a meaningful way, how to properly listen to people so that you fully understand them. There's nothing manipulative, there's nothing unpleasant. In fact, I think they ought to teach this book in school. I like How to Win Your Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie so much that every person who comes to work with me gets given a copy of it on their first day. And I say, please read this. This is how we treat people. This is the respect we show people. This is how much we believe in people. Please read that book.
Yes, highly recommended, people. It's classic, but it's a priceless knowledge that you can take. And Mr. Andrew, thank you for that recommended book. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in 5th season, abstract poetry in 2nd season, and my book 101 review in 5th season too, comedy 101 in 2nd season, food 101 in 5th season as well, geography 101, love letters, music 101, movie 101, 4th season, science 101, sex 101, 2nd season of my baby podcast, law 101, mental health 101, and Bible verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Andrew, looking forward, how will the rise of AI in video creation and optimization change the game?
I think it's going to make it much easier for people who are authentic to get started.
Yes.
So I've been doing some experimenting recently. I've been putting out lots of history videos, and I combined them all together, and I used Notebook LM, which is an AI tool that can make videos, just to see if the AI videos on the topics, I was talking about Viking history, I wanted to know if the AI-generated videos would get more views than the videos that feature me. And the videos featuring me, I get the words wrong, I stumble, I'm not perfect in any way at all. And what's happened so far is the videos of me being imperfect get watched a lot more times than the perfect AI videos. I also think this is already changing the way people view videos. It's become almost a meme that people will see an AI-generated video, especially on places like Reddit, and they'll dismiss it. As soon as they know it's AI-generated, they go, eh. And I think it's going to get harder to tell when things are AI-generated, but ultimately it's going to make people like you and I and everybody else listening and watching this who are authentic and who are prepared to take a chance, it's going to make us much more attractive. I call it the age of authenticity. People don't want perfection, especially not on YouTube. If they want perfection, they can go to Hollywood and watch those films. On YouTube, they want reality. They want people who are relatable, not perfect. And a lot of the AI content is a bit perfect.
That's why, Mr. Andrew, I never edit all the episodes that I'm publishing on my podcast, because I want authenticity, people. I want you to listen what is our imperfection in our daily lives. So, Mr. Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Let's empower people all over the world through our podcast. So can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Please just do a search for the Business Amplifier Podcast on YouTube and any podcast platform.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Andrew Laws, because if you support him, for sure more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself will rise. So, Mr. Andrew, thank you so much for your time.
And yours. Thank you very much.
More to come, people. See you soon. Again.